Winner's Corner is brought to you by the Good Olds Guys, who invite you to see the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme and other 1983 automobiles today. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Kiner, and we have as our special guest Tom Seaver. And it was a fitting day for two great pitchers, and Tom Seaver, of course, started the ball game for the Mets. And Tom, I think one of the greatest things that I saw was the ovation you got as you came in from the bullpen to start that ball game.
Well, Ralph, that's a question that's been asked me a lot, obviously, since I was traded back here. What my feelings would be when I'd come in, I really didn't know. You know, I mean, you knew it was going to be terrific, and the feeling was going to be terrific, but you don't know personally. I try to be a very disciplined pitcher and control my emotions on the mound and try not to let umpires' calls or errors or bad pitches or things upset me. But walking in from the bullpen and seeing, you know, back where I have so many memories and so many beautiful memories, it took me a couple innings to calm down. It was very touching, and you know, it couldn't have turned out to be a better day. Thank God we ended up winning the game, but it was a very emotional moment for me.
Well, our guest here this afternoon, after the Mets won their ball game by a score of 2-0, Tom Seaver. And, of course, Tom Seaver with the Mets back in the heyday of 1969. He was, he was a star pitcher in the 1967 All-Star game held in Los Angeles. A 1-0 ball game won by a home run by Tony Perez. Yeah. And I'm sure, Tom, this is before the start of all your great seasons with the New York Mets, but you had an outstanding All-Star game.
Well, that's, you know, it's a kind of ironic. We have so many veteran players that were out on the field today. Morgan and Rose and Carlton and Perez and myself and Kingman Foster. It's kind of like, in essence, an old-timers game. But going back to that All-Star game in '67, I can remember coming in from the bullpen, and I'm just a year and a half out of USC. And
in
Pete
your
Rose
hometown?
In Southern California, that's right. And Dado's in the stands, and my mom and dad in the stands, and my wife and everything. And I come in from the bullpen in right field, 15th inning, and Pete Rose is playing second. And sure enough, Perez had hit the home run to win the ball game in the top of the 15th and stuff. And it's, you know, it's hard to believe that that's 17 years ago that happened.
Well, let's take a look at some of the other action. Here you are pitching against one of the great players of all time, Carl Yastrzemski. And you remember what happened here?
Well, this could be tragic.
No, this
single
is
up
good.
the middle. Single up.
No, he struck him out.
Struck him out.
Struck him out. You only remember the good things, don't you?
With that swing, I'm glad he didn't hit it, I'll tell you that.
Here's Jose Askew, and you do a job on him. Fastball that time. That was that good fastball.
Yeah.
And then the next batter that comes up here is a guy named Boog Powell, and of course Boog, an outstanding power hitter and a great left-hand hitter for the Baltimore Orioles. Boog Powell.
This is the All-Star. That's the All-Star game in Houston right there. That's what that is.
In the Astrodome.
That's exactly right. That's '68. That's right.
Here's Mickey
Mantle. That's right. And I threw 3 pitches to Mickey, and my father was there at that game too, and my wife, and some of my family.
And also,
it's the only time I faced Mickey Mantle too.
Is that?
It was kind of, you know, it's one of the little things that become memories for you, you know, obviously, and it was at the end of his career, and I threw 3 fastballs and got him all. You know, I was throwing awfully good that day. Got them all by him, and he struck out. And
the fellow named Rick Mundy, who was an outstanding hitter. He was the next strikeout victim, and of course Mundy still played. And that was in the...
He has had his shares of home runs.
Yeah, has he? Yes. The one I remember, a fellow you don't figure to hit many home runs, Tommy Hutton used to wear you out.
Tommy Hutton used to wear me out, and guys like Woody Woodward, you know, through your career you're going to have those kinds of people that you have a lot of trouble against. And Hutton, probably the 2 biggest guys of people that you would not think of would be Hutton and Woody Woodward.
Mm-hmm. And always difficult, but then, of course, you're on your way to hopefully winning 300 ball games and striking, of course, over 3,000 batters out.
Well, I hope so, Ralph. If I win, I would like to win 300 games. I'm not really numerically oriented, but if I do win 300 games, I would like to pitch well to get there. I mean, I have to pitch well. I don't feel like I want to hang on. I want to pitch the way that I feel I can pitch and pitch effectively, and I want to help this ball club. And if I can't do that, then I'm not going to hang on and stay around and pitch just for the sake of winning 300 games.
Let's take a look at the other side of Tom Seaver. He is basically, well, we could say a jester, court jester. This is what takes place behind the scenes as you look at Tom Seaver. in his imitation of number. That isn't Ron Shea.
Now, you know who that is now. This is an old-timers day that they had at Shea Stadium, I don't know how many years ago. Do you know who number 10 was for the Brooklyn Dodgers? He was our pitching coach for the New York Mets.
Rube Walker.
Obviously, Rube Walker. And I stole the uniform and stuffed a bunch of towels in, and nobody loved it more than Rube. I mean, he was a guy that you could kid with and have fun with, and he loved it. And I'm glad to see him still in the big leagues. He's one of my favorite people in the game. Rube down there helping Joe Torre in Atlanta.
How they got off to a slow start as they lost their first game yesterday.
I'm forward against Boston. I had one 7-inning stint, but I have not pitched in a game, really. I pitched 2 innings against Philadelphia, but I have not pitched in a game for an extended period of time until since I faced Boston. But I got into the 6th inning today, the top of the 6th inning, and I threw the first pitch to Pete, and I've had trouble in the left thigh, and just a muscle strain of the left quadricep, and I felt it. I could feel it. And I've talked to Larry Mayo, and to get technical, it feels like fatigue, and whether I've heard it or not, again, I don't know. We don't think we have. We think it's just a matter of fatigue. It's just not quite strong enough to be able to go out and pitch 9 innings for me. And we went and took some ice and did some things like that. But I felt it against Pete and felt it on the pitches against Joe, but nothing, there was no sharp pain in there, which is good. And I went and I told George after, or I think it was probably right before I threw to Pete, I told him that I was having trouble with my leg. And he got the bullpen ready. He said, just let me know whenever you feel it, let me know, and I'll, get the bullpen going. And I came in, I said, I feel it, George. I know if I go out there the next inning, then I'm really going to pop it. And if I'm leading off the inning in 6 innings, I don't feel like, opening day, you don't feel like you're going to pitch much more than 7 anyway. 7's a good fatigue point, really, on opening day. And the sun just came out. And so, it was a perfect place to go ahead and pinch hit for me and try to get a run off Steve. He pitched super today, and it looked like he got a little bit tired. And in the one inning, we got a couple runs off him. And anytime that you're going to beat a pitcher like that, you're going to have to hold the opposition down to virtually nothing and hope you can scratch a couple runs. And it was a team effort today from everybody, from Mike Howard to the bullpen to Hubie Brooks to Kingman and Foster. It's a kind of win that is rewarding in the sense that everybody contributes, and it's a very refreshing, and it's great to get off to a great start.
Let's take a look at the first batter against Tom Seaver as he makes his comeback with the New York Mets. The batter, of course, Pete Rose, and right here you do something that doesn't happen to Rose too often.
Well, you're not going to strike Pete out too often. And that ball was supposed to break to the left there and end up going to the right. It's called a backup slider.
That's right.
And if you're going to throw a backup slider, you might as well throw it down and get it down in the strike zone. That was, as I said before, the first 2 innings were fairly emotional, and I wasn't going to throw any off-speed pitches at all. I didn't feel like I could control them, and I said, if I'm going to hit anything, just let them hit the hard stuff. And I threw all fastballs and sliders in the first couple innings until I felt like emotionally I got my feet on the ground. And I tell you, it's funny now, I struck out Pete Rose twice today. And the last game that I pitched for the Mets here in Shea Stadium was against Cincinnati. And I struck out Pete Rose 3 times in that game. So it's another ironic factor of the game today.
Remember that.
Yeah, just have to remember, because you don't strike him out very often.
No, you surely don't. The National League ties a Major League record. We have with us right now Doug Sisk, who was a winning pitcher in the ball game. And Doug, you're first.
Yep.
And a little bit of a struggle there, wasn't it, at the end there?
Yeah, a little bit. I just wanted to get him out in order, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, you got the first man out and then walked the tough man Joe Morgan, and that put a runner on first, and then Gary Matthews with a single. Mike Schmidt was probably the key to the inning when he got him on one pitch to fly to center.
Yeah, I didn't want to give him a good pitch he could drive. I wanted to keep it down low and maybe get a ground ball because he's not, real fast. Gonna double play, but he popped it up.
Were you surprised that you'd be in the ball game in the 9th inning?
In a way, yeah. But
happy now, huh?
Huh?
Pretty happy about that now.
Oh, yeah. Geez, yeah.
Let's take a look at the final out of the ball game. It'll be Tony Perez, and of course, Tony in the game had 2 hits and 3 times up, and had grounded into a double play against Doug earlier in the game. It was a big play after a walk to Mike Schmidt and ended the 7th inning. And then in the 8th inning, he gave up a base hit, a bloop hit to right field, and got out of that jam. In the 9th inning, a walk to Morgan, and then Matthews with a single, runners at first and second. And here's Tony Perez as he comes to bat. Any thought any thought at this point, a home run would beat you or put you behind in the ball game, you know he can hit it out of the ballpark, I would think.
I wanted to get ahead of him real fast, and then after that, I knew if he's going to swing after a 3-0 pitch in the inning prior to that, I knew he was going to swing at something that I throw around the plate after I get ahead of him. So that's basically what I wanted to do, and I thought I was going to get him.
You really did?
Yep.
That's a way to go at it.
Yeah, that's the only one I thought I was going to get, but I thought I was going to get him, and after I get this couple strikes on him, I knew I was going to get him.
Well, let's take a look at the final pitch of the ball game. Here's Doug Siss as he picks up his first major league win, the ball in the dirt, and a breaking ball at that.
That was it's a bad slider is what it was.
Well, it's a good place to throw it.
Well, the only thing good about it was off speed, and it wasn't. I did want to throw it low, you know, maybe in the dirt, but not that bad. But like I said, I knew he'd be aggressive after that pitch, and he was. He went after it.
No doubt about it, and congratulations on picking up the victory, and a great job in relief of Tom Seaver.
Thank you.
Doug Siss, another game. Korner's Corner has been brought to you by the good Olds guys, who invite you to see the new Oldsmobiles. They're right for now and right through 1990.
0 for 4 has also struck out twice. Soto now